If you are looking for an absolute masterclass in high-octane emotional tension, elite athletic rivalry, and a pulse-pounding, deeply moving brother's best friend meets sports romance tactical trajectory, you need to clear your calendar for Salvador. We are stepping directly into the high-stakes, calculation-heavy testing grounds of professional motorsport with Only With You, a spectacular, high-gear, and beautifully executed second installment that establishes the Night series as an elite, undisputed vanguard in modern sports romance. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of stories where a hyper-focused, lethal formula racer must navigate a toxic media minefield while fighting a desperate, forbidden obsession with his teammate's younger sister, where a brilliant, fiercely independent heroine uses raw defiance and creative blueprints to insulate her heart from family tragedy, and where the author utilizes an incandescent, clandestine encounters to Paddock warfare diagnostic routine to test their emotional safety buffers, this book is engineered to lock you in. Salvador completely dominates the unput-downable contemporary sports noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing momentum and sharp, high-frequency biological friction popularized by authors like Lauren Asher, Anna Huang, and Katharina Maura, while treating personal identity crises, intense family dynamics, and volatile protective devotion with exquisite care. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on our alpha hero, the crown prince of the racing circuit. He is an absolute machine on the track, operating under a strict calculation-heavy focus on maintaining his podium tracking record. His defensive perimeters have been locked down tight for years, his analytical focus entirely consumed by precision engineering, corporate assets, and protecting his professional vanguard from any external anomalies. The spark ignites because our beautiful, fiercely resilient heroine is the ultimate anomaly. As his best friend and teammate's sister, she is strictly off-limits, a high-risk asset that threatens to destabilize his entire tactical racing strategy. She lives outside his cold, clinical bubble, navigating the world with immense psychological grit and an absolute refusal to be a pawn in her family's high society legacy. She wasn't part of his logistical life plan, but the moment their personal metrics collide behind the scenes of the paddock and in the quiet spaces of the team's luxury retreats, his hidden desires engage their deployment tracks, triggering an immediate psychological system failure. The tactical parameters instantly explode into a war of lingering glances, public deflection, and volatile emotional standoffs as our hero attempts to bury his attraction under a campaign of professional distance. The situation transforms into a volatile psychological pressure cooker as the forced proximity of their shared travel schedule forces them into constant close-quarters encounters across the globe. His guarded exterior transforms into a fiercely realistic, entirely pragmatic shield, deploying his massive social leverage and raw intensity to establish an absolute security perimeter around her when external threats and family betrayals close in, even as he remains the primary source of her emotional frustration. Every late-night confrontation in rainy grandstand corridors, every shared moment of dark vulnerability behind closed hospitality suite doors, and every fiercely possessive touch chips away at their respective logical defense mechanisms. What follows is an exceptional high-stakes war of psychological perspective and raw survival. The tracking clock takes a lethal turn when toxic paddock politics, media scandals, and destructive family secrets breach their active safety perimeter, threatening to ruin both of their futures. To survive the overarching social trap and outmaneuver the forces closing in, our possessive champion and his fierce, independent partner must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of the secret bond they've built. It is a sports romance, brother's best friend drama, forbidden obsession, high society suspense masterpiece that treats deep athletic logistics and intense romantic friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, you are the only one I see at 200 miles per hour energy, where a sudden shift in pit lane dynamics, an unexpected encounter in an abandoned team trailer, or a heavy, possessive hand resting on a waist behind a row of titanium garage bays carries massive structural weight. Salvador writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the clinical, cold hum of elite European capitals, the oppressive atmosphere of an international victory gala, and the distinct, subtle scent of burning rubber, rain on asphalt, expensive leather, and pure, unadulterated passion. What truly elevates this milestone series book into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance realistic emotional healing alongside breathless romantic heat. Our heroine isn't a fragile asset waiting to be rescued. Her immense psychological grit, razor-sharp wit, and independent drive match the complexity of the hyper-competitive world her protector dominates step for step, making her choice to surrender to the bond feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense emotional stalemates and breathtaking physical defensive sequences before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping final confrontation that delivers total, hard-earned peace to their horizons. Only with You is the definitive pro-level upgrade your sports romance and high-stakes contemporary fiction library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire universe is fractured by professional expectations and hidden truths, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to fight for the one who completely holds your heart. So, secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to cross the finish line.